Hi everyone and welcome back to Maths and Physics with Mr. Simons. We make Maths and Physics easy and we get you exam ready. Right, today's lesson on equations, classwork. We're looking at technically variation 9.3 of 9.3. So we're looking at the third way we do simultaneous equations, which is by means of substitution. So the two previous simultaneous equations we solved via elimination and we solved it graphically. Substitution is the one we're going to test the most, going from grade 11 to grade 12, right? Basically a 5 to 6 mark compulsory exam question, right? So yeah, for grade 10, we're busy with the basics, right? So let's look at the first problem. Right, solve for x and y. So again, whenever we have two unknowns, we will solve it simultaneously. And you will see there's going to be a lot of simultaneous equations, even in physical sciences, right? And in chemistry. So 1, we've given you 4x plus y equal negative 5. And we have minus 3x plus 4y equal 18. So between the two equations, we have to choose where you can either make x or y the subject to the formula. And when I say y, I mean I want 1y or 1x, not 2x or 3y or 5y. Right, so if we look at the 2, the simplest one, they already have y as 1y. So I'm going to make this y the subject to the formula. And I'm going to take 4x over. Right, so y equal, if I take positive 4 over, it becomes negative 4x minus 5. That's my equation 1, and that second equation I leave as is. Right, so now because I have equation for y, remember, to solve either equation, I want the whole equation either to only have x's in it, you understand, or y's. So because I have equation for y in terms of x, right, there we have 4y. Instead of saying y, I'm going to write in minus 4x minus 5. Right, 4 goes in front. So now I have minus 3x plus 4 times negative 4x gives me negative 16x. 4 times negative 5 gives me negative 20 equal 18. Minus 3 minus 16 gives me minus 19. If I take negative 20 across, it becomes positive 20. 20 plus 18 would give me 38. We always divide by whatever's in front of x. So negative 19 divided by negative 19 equal 1x. 38 divided by negative 19 gives me negative 2. So this now is my equation 3. So I've solved for x. So x equal negative 2. But remember, I must still solve for y. So I'm going to go back. If I go into the first equation there, minus 4 times negative 2 minus 5. So y is, or x is negative 2. So that gives me positive 8. Positive 8 minus 5 would then give me positive 3. All right, so the objective with substitution, right, I'm going to make either x or y the subject of the formula. That equation I get, I have to substitute another equation to ensure that I only have one variable. So either the whole equation would read variables with x's or variables with y. Then I solve either for x and y, and then I substitute back. But let's look at the second problem. They say practice makes perfect. So here we have x plus y equal 12 and 4x plus 2y equal 44. So there are two unknowns, x and y. There are two unknowns, x and y. So only way to solve when you have two different letters of the alphabet, or variables as we call them, then we have to solve simultaneously. So again, between the two, I'm going to make x or y the subject of the formula. There, because it says 1x and 1y, I chose x. You could have chosen y as well. So x equal, if I take y across, 12 minus y. Positive y becomes negative y. So there's my first equation. All right. So now here, wherever I see x, I'm going to put in 12 minus y. So that gives me 4 times x, so 4 times 12 minus y in brackets plus 2y equal 44. So you see that whole line there, that equation only has one variable, y. So now I'm able to solve for y. So 4 times 12 gives me 48. 4 times negative y gives me negative 4y plus 2y equal 44. Minus 4 plus 2y gives me minus 2y. If I take 48 over 44 minus 48 gives me negative 4y. So minus 2y equal negative 4. Divide by negative 2 both sides, that gives me y. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 gives me positive 2. So y equal positive 2, so that's my equation 3. So there in the place of y, if I put 2, I'm going to have 12 minus 2 and x equal 10. Right, and we can test 10 plus 2 gives me 12. 4 times 10 is 40, plus 2 times 2, which is 4. 40 plus 4 gives me 44. Right, and there we've solved it simultaneously using substitution. You see there, I substitute in the place of x. Right, let's go to the third problem. Solve for x and y. So they gave me 8x minus 9y equal 1 and 12y minus 10x equal 1. Alright, so this is just to show you that I can make it more difficult. But yeah, it's not really difficult. It's a concept of, do you see the pattern and you understand how to solve it using that pattern. So we choose the equation and we either make y or x the subject of the formula. Right, so if I choose x here, if I take 9y across, negative 9y will become positive 9y. So I have 9y plus 1. I want x on its own, so I'm going to divide everything by 8. So 8x divided by 8 gives me x, 9y divided by 8, and 1 divided by 8. So there's my equation 1. Equation 2, 12y minus 10x equal 1. Right, so there, that's my equation 2. So now wherever I see x in this equation, I'm going to substitute that part in to ensure I only have one variable. You see, same procedure. So substitute 1 in 2. So 12y minus 10, instead of x, I now have 9y over 8 plus 1 over 8 equal 1. Alright, so that stays 12y. And here, I hope now your grade 10s follow very carefully. I'm going to say this once. I'm not preempting. Years and years I've marked this, and some of you, I don't know how you'll carry this from grade 8 to 9 all the way to grade 10. So this negative 10, if I multiply it in, remember negative 10 is negative 10 over 1. Anything divided by 1 stays the same. So 10 can only be multiplied with the 9 on top. It can't be multiplied by the 8. So you can't go say 10 times 9 is 90 and then 10 times 8 is 80 and then you write 90 over 8. So this 10 only gets multiplied with the numerator, the top value. So negative times positive is negative. 10 times 9y gives me 90y and 8 stays at the bottom. Negative times positive gives me negative. 10 times 1 gives me 10, right? And that over 8 equal 1. Right? Now, because it's an equation, it has an equal sign, I can multiply the 8 away from the bottom. I can multiply the denominator away. So 12y times 8 would give me 96y. 90y over 8 times 8 gives me simply minus 90y. Minus 10 over 8 times 8 simply gives me negative 10, and 1 times 8 simply gives me 8. 96 minus 90 would give me 6y. If I take negative 10 over, that becomes 8 plus 10, which gives me 18. Right, 6y divided by 6 would give me y. 18 divided by 6 would give me 3, so y equal 3. That is my third equation. Right, so substitute 3 back into the first equation. That will become 9 times 3 over 8 plus 1 over 8. So 9 times 3 is 27 over 8 plus 1 over 8. 27 plus 1 gives me 28 over 8. 4 goes in 8 2 times. 4 goes in 27 7 times. So therefore my answer for x 7 over 2 while y equal 3. Alright, and that is the third way how I solved via substitution. So you need to practice and get the procedure in your head. Remember, we are just studying patterns. Right? Once we understand the patterns, there is nothing difficult for us to solve. Right? And we can work on our errors and where we're going wrong. I wish you nothing but the best. I pray that you continue practicing. You believe in yourself. You put in the effort to become a better version of yourself. You're in competition with no one. All right? God bless. Bye.